The word adventure and the idea of the American migration west are one in the same. Manifest destiny, new beginnings, and of course fortunes won and lost. The American West conjures up the images of swarthy gunslingers, gritty lawmen, cowpunchers, and cattle barons alike. What we have here today is a small sampling of some of my favorite artifacts of the American West that are available in our August premiere auction. To start us off is this beautiful Tranter Bulldog revolver. Now, if you haven't heard of the Tranter revolver, it is an English-made double-action break-top revolver. And this one is beautifully engraved, beautiful nickel, exquisite niter blue, and this ridiculous bird's head stock, very similar to the Colt 1877 Lightning or Thunderer, but this is checkered and it just feels great in the hand. This gun is a Birmingham-made gun by Thomas Tranter, but it's not just a cool gun. This is the personal gun of W.A. Pinkerton. If you haven't heard of the Pinkerton Group, they were America's first real detective agency. Allan Pinkerton, W.A.'s father, got his start guarding President Lincoln during the Civil War. And for years to come, they became the private investigation group that many organizations are built off of today. They created dossiers on criminals and chased people through the American West. People like the Dalton Gang, Jesse James, and Butch Cassidy and the Wild Bunch. This was the personal gun of W.A. Pinkerton, who took over the Pinkerton Group after his father passed away. It's an exquisite piece of history and comes from a collection that is exceedingly noteworthy, the Robert M. Lee collection. If you haven't heard of Robert M. Lee, he is so prestigious that he even has a gallery in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This is a true collector piece of a great law enforcement agency. Next on the table are two beautiful and historic leather holsters. Leather of this time period is few and far between, and if you do find something, it's generally in pretty bad condition due to the fact that these were consumables. They were built to last, however, they got wet. They dried out, they were covered in sweat. Imagine riding on the horseback for days, sweating, carrying your firearm. You don't see leather in this condition. And of course, both these holsters come from one of my favorite collections, the Greg Lamp collection. He truly owned and acquired the best, and these are no different. So to start us off, I want to talk about this S.B. Sievers holster and belt from Muskogee, Oklahoma, which on the holster is marked Muskogee IT, or Indian Territory. Seaver was actually in Custer's 7th Cavalry and fought at the Battle of Little Bighorn. He was wounded and he was part of Reno's battalion during that battle, but to think that a man that went through such death-defying odds and survived actually created this holster. I mean, it's amazing, and to see it in this condition it's unheard of. It is a standard Mexican loop holster with two retention straps. It also would house a Colt single-action army that's 4 3/4 inch barrel. It comes with a cartridge belt. We're not sure. It's either 44 or 45 caliber that would the cartridges would fit in this belt. But even more important than that, Sievers didn't make a whole lot of holsters. There's not very many known holsters of his. This Muskogee Indian Territory belt and holster is the only known matching set in its existence. Sievers didn't create a whole lot of holsters, didn't create a whole lot of belts, or if he did, not many survived. So this is a true treasure. After the Battle of Little Bighorn, Nelson Miles moves into Custer's seat. Nelson Miles, the famous Civil War general and known Indian fighter, and he moves to Miles City, Montana. Now, Miles City is one of the most important places in the early West, especially during the Indian Wars. And this next holster comes from Miles City, Montana. It is a Moran Brothers holster and belt rig. It's set up for a 7.5-inch Colt single-action army with belt loops for 44 or 45 caliber. These holsters don't exist. We have two Moran Brothers holsters in this auction, and they had a very limited production run, less than 10 years. I mean, to have both these on the table is amazing. These things don't happen. This holster is also photographed and listed in the premier book on holstery called Packing Iron. This is a true piece of history, well documented, and coming to a place that is so significant in the American West. Now to bring it full circle, from the Battle of Little Bighorn, Nelson Miles takes over the Indian encampment in Miles City, and Nelson Miles' photographer, L.A. Huffman. I love L.A. Huffman, and he's one of the most historically significant photographers of the American West. Huffman comes in 3 years after the Battle of Little Bighorn to be the photographer for Nelson Miles. And to tell you the significance of that, after the Battle of Little Bighorn, natives fled north, and now they're coming back, and they are coming back to Miles City to be put into these settlements. L.A. Huffman documented it. He documented the end of the buffalo hunting. He documented the movement north of cattle and sheep. He photographed important historical people like Granville Stewart and Yellowstone Kelly. And he had the forethought to do it with an artistic look, but also photograph what would have then been the mundane, so we can honestly see it in the right light today. These photographs and many more are from the John Fox collection. Now, we've been selling Mr. Fox's collection for a few years, and we've sold quite a few Huffman photographs and prints. But these are some that I think are historically significant that I'd like to talk to you about today. This hand-colored print is entitled Two Moon Interview. Now, Two Moon was a chief in the Battle of Grassy Grass, and later became a scout for Nelson Miles. This portrays him being interviewed by an unknown reporter. He's blind at this point, and this is one of the last encampments of the West. Now, it makes it significant because it shows the passage of time. You know, an American reporter sitting down with a native. And the great thing about this print is that it's hand colored. Now, Huffman is known for this. Obviously, there was not color emulsified film at the time. But what Huffman did is he took paint and hand colored each of these pieces. Now, this print comes with multiple stencils. The actual stencils that L.A. Huffman used to hand color these prints. Now, they're also signed in his hand. I mean, these are true artifacts. These are the things that would have been discarded. But he had the forethought of creating an archive. This print and these stencils are a testament to the creative ingenuity that Huffman had and the forethought to be able to save these things because they truly are things of value. Now this print is called After the Chase and was photographed circa 1882 and depicts slaughtered buffalo. Now, why is this important? The buffalo herds were no more. This is known as one of potentially the last commercial buffalo hunts ever in the United States. Huffman was there, lugging his giant cameras around. I mean, riding on horseback through the snow with these giant cameras capturing what is maybe one of the most important hunts in history. I mean, the eradication of the buffalo. And this framed print is known. It's in all of his books. He photographed a lot of hunting scenes, from natives to buffalo hunting to the XIT Ranch, which is famous for bringing cows from Texas to Montana. I can't tell you how important L.A. Huffman is in the world of photography. Early documentary photography, post Matthew Brady, pre everybody else. And you can own a piece of history that's only available in our upcoming August premiere. If you're interested in the West, if you're interested in historic and provenance items, we have something for you in this August premiere auction. Come to Bedford, Texas, August 23rd, 24th, and 25th. We have a preview day, August 22nd, where you can come and handle these things, see these in person, take part in what is an important and historic auction. We'll see you there.